Welcome back to Game Day Kickoff presented by KFC. Lindsay Rhodes, James Jones, and Willie McGinnis. You weren't expecting to see us, were you? But the reason you are seeing us is because there is lightning in the area of Charlotte, North Carolina, where the Panthers are getting set to host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in week 2 of the NFL's 100th season. Let's show you the radar here. Charlotte is okay right now from a lightning standpoint, but there is some, as you see there, maybe at the bottom of your screen. I'm not a meteorologist, but I think when you see those kinds of blips,
something moving.
That's not good. So we're going to take a break from site, and we're going to take over in here for just a minute here to discuss this one. A couple of quarterbacks who are looking to turn things around after relatively rough week ones. Both teams also looking for their first win of the season. Cam Newton looking for his first win in 8 starts. He's coming off shoulder surgery, a revamped throwing motion, and a game in which he only went deep 1 time. Are the two related, James?
I don't think so. I seen him make a couple throws that were across the field, looked like his arm strength was very good. But to me, the concern is how inaccurate he was throwing the football. I mean, we have guys running wide open on the field. He missed Greg Olsen a couple times. He missed DJ Moore a couple times. And it wasn't no pressure. These are just throws he just missed. And coming off of shoulder surgery, I wasn't worried because I seen him make a throw early in the game that, his arm strength looked fine. But Cam has been an inconsistent thrower his whole career, and it showed up big time in week 1. So he has to get better. He has to come out here. You cannot consistently miss these throws, or you're going to lose a lot of ball games, and it will be bad to drop your first 2 games of the season at the crib.
I would say not playing in the preseason, and everybody starts off a little rusty. I mean, we didn't see Breeze; he looked great, and Aaron looked great, Brady looked great. But when
natural passers,
right? When you're natural passers, but when you're trying a new technique and all the things that he went through in the offseason, including the injury, not being on the field, I don't really count practice because those are not full speed reps with defensive linemen coming at you, linebacker blitzes, and seeing all the exotic coverages you're going to see in a regular season. I will say there is some rust. We saw a lot of rust from a lot of quarterbacks throughout the NFL. I will say, though, I'm excited about the arm strength because that's what I was worried about. I think
that was there.
Yeah, I think he can work on the accuracy stuff. And the passing game was short to intermediate. And sometimes in the past, like you said, he's so strong. Between the receivers and the quarterback, like he's almost knocking their hands off because he's overthrowing the ball. So learning how to be more precise, hitting those tight windows, certain things like that with this new technique, I think that'll come. What I'm concerned about is if they're going to overfeed McCaffrey. And I know for fantasy
you can't overfeed McCaffrey from a fantasy standpoint.
And it's great, but you don't want him to wear down five weeks into the season.
He was on the field for 100% of their team's offensive snaps last week.
And you have playmakers on that offense, and North Turner knows how to get the playmakers the ball. I saw great design last year, and I thought I'd see a little bit more. You can't force feed everything to McCaffrey. At some point, defenses, which they're playing against a pretty solid defense, is going to take him away. And they're going to figure out you got to get the ball to somebody else and make him go to other options.
Well, I'm looking for Cam to get back to Cam, too, though. I mean, I know it's just week 1. It's early. But the reason why this Panthers team was so dominant in the years is because Cam will make plays with his legs, too. And now you got to bring an extra guy up in the box. And now he's throwing to wide receivers that have one-on-one coverage. If Cam doesn't use his legs, these defenses are going to sit back in zone. Cam has never been a guy that can really throw his guys open out of coverage. I want to see him get back to Cam. Use your legs, run the ball, make it easier on that offense so they have to start keying on you, and then it makes the throws easier.
You got to limit those rushes, though. He can't have any more
about
surgeries.
20 times a game, but I'm saying at least 1 or 2, 3, 4 times early in the game to let them know you will take off so they can change the way they playing you so you can make these easy completions.
3 carries for -2 rushing yards last week. That's the lowest in his career. Very un-Cam-like. How about Jameis Winston? We were wondering how this was going to work with Bruce Arians, who's a no-risk-it, no-biscuit type of guy. Jameis Winston clearly has that same approach. 3 giveaways in week 1 and a 45 passer rating. What does he need to do differently this week?
I think they need to start off by running the football. Yes. And I know Bruce wants to throw the ball down the field. Whether it's Peyton Barber, whether it's Ronald Jones, you got to set up some of these plays down the field. And Mike Evans has been a big target, pretty much his safety blanket since he's been there. You throw the ball up, he has a huge catch radius. You know about that, JJ. Mm-hmm. So you don't have to be really accurate. But for the speedier, smaller receivers like D-Jack and all those guys that were there, you got to be a little more accurate. And then I see him forcing plays when it's not even there. The receiver's not even in the area. You're still trying to force and make a play. It always comes out to a negative play. A couple of pick sixes last week. That's just not good.
Yeah, and if we know Bruce Arians, I think the main thing that I took out from the game is your defense is very good. You have a very good young defense. It's okay to punt the ball. You do not have to force balls into tight windows because you're trying to make a play. Like Bruce Arians said earlier, he doesn't have to win every game. We have a team that can help you. Let the defense come out there, make the offense go long fields, but he forced way too many passes. We thought he wouldn't turn the ball over with Bruce Arians there, and he proved us wrong.
That defense that you like there in Tampa Bay has a new face on it, wearing 93, a number that has been not worn for a long time by Gerald McCoy. And Ndamukong Suh will be rocking that number tonight against Gerald McCoy, who, of course, plays for the Carolina Panthers. We are hearing that this lightning that's in the area in Charlotte is not going to affect kickoff. So the game is expected to kick off as scheduled. We will take you right up to it here on NFL. Here in our Culver City studios here at NFL Network, Lindsay Rhodes alongside James Jones and Willie McGinnis. Expecting a big game from Christian McCaffrey because he always turns in a big game. But for the Panthers to really get things going offensively this year, they need to get some other offensive weapons involved. How do they do that today?
I mean, the obvious choice is DJ Moore. You're talking about a guy that they took in the first round who can make a lot of plays, but now it's all about how nerve turner are you going to get this kid the ball? You got to get creative and get this kid the ball. We've seen Cam miss inconsistent throws, so I don't know how you're going to get this kid open, but you got to find a way to get him the ball and get him in the rhythm because that's going to help this offense.
Tell me about DJ Moore and Curtis Samuel, what you see from them, what makes them special, their individual skill sets.
DJ Moore is a special route runner, and he's a guy that gets a lot of yak after the catch, and that's big time. And if you could get the ball in his hands fast, he will be special for you. But Cam is back there holding the ball, inconsistent throws, and by the time he gets the ball, it's guys there already ready to hit him, so he can't even get started. So they got to figure out ways to get the ball in his hands early with a little bit of separation for him to be able to show why they took him in round 1 because he's special after the catch.
And don't forget, you got Curtis Samuel. He's like their utility player. Yeah. They use him on the speed sweeps, reverse the bubbles, all the different plays. So Norv Turner, he has options on the offensive side of the ball. You can move guys around, give them different formations, move them around, and use them different ways. And then you got Chris Hogan. He's a veteran receiver. Yeah. He's not going to run away from anybody, but he's going to run his routes. He's going to be exactly where he needs to be, and he's going to catch the ball when it comes to him. So I expect the ball to get spread around a little bit more. I think they took note that, hey, we gave a lot of touches to McCaffrey. And like I said, all the fantasy owners are loving it. But at the end of the day, you want him to play all 16 games.
Cam didn't appear to love it, at least jokingly didn't appear to love it. He made a comment earlier in the week about how it looked like Norv Turner might have Christian McCaffrey on his fantasy team because he called his number so much in this game. How does that impact the way the Bucs approach this one defensively? What we saw in week 1 from the Panthers, what do you do defensively to try and stop it, knowing that they're going to try to get it through Christian McCaffrey?
When you sit in the defensive meeting rooms, the one thing we say is he is the number 1 target on the offense. Now, we know Cam can run it. You can't let him break contain. And like you said, JJ, you want to mix in those quarterback runs. But Christian McCaffrey is the guy that they're going to use at a lot of different positions. So when he comes out, you first got to identify where he's going to line up. Is he going to be in the slot? Is he going to be in the backfield? Is he going to motion out to try to create that matchup with the linebackers? So they're trying to move him around to see who you're going to line him up against. And if it's a favorable matchup, they're going to try to dictate that and get him the ball. So identifying him, putting a safety or a fast linebacker, which they have in Devin White, on him, take him out of the game and force them to try and get the ball to other people.
Absolutely. You got to take Christian McCaffrey out the game. I would load the box up, take him out of the game plan, play man-to-man on the outside, and force these DBs to put hands on these receivers and force Cam to throw these receivers open.
Now
that
remember,
would be my game plan
they lined him up in a lot of different spots. They lined him at receiver, the X, the slot, everywhere.
Yes.
His versatility makes it so hard to take him out of the game. Obviously, that's the goal. Clearly, as we've seen in the last few years, that's easier said than done. As for Tampa Bay, you said that they need to get their run game going with Ronald Jones and Peyton Barber. But what about the wideouts? Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. It was an off game for the passing offense just in general in week 1. But do you expect that we'll see something different with regard to Mike Evans' productivity, Chris Godwin as well?
I think we'll see Mike Evans get some more opportunities, get some more targets, because they got to get him going. I mean, he is their offense. But they let Deshaun Jackson out of there because all offseason they've been talking about Chris Godwin. And he has to show up. He's going to be on the second corner. He's going to get man-to-man coverage. He has to win those battles. And for them to win tonight, he is going to have a big game, because you better believe that the Carolina Panthers, this is a division game, they are going to take away Mike Evans. So Chris Godwin is going to have to win tonight.
JJ, that's been the problem in the past. I talked to D-Jack when he was there, and the one thing he said is, I'm different than Mike Evans. Like, you have to target and throw the ball different to me. Well, Chris Godwin is fast.
Yes.
He can move. He runs a lot of different routes, and you got to put the ball out in front of him. So in saying that, a lot of times when Winston is not comfortable at throwing those precise balls to Godwin, guess where he goes? He goes right back to his number one target, and Mike Evans, where you know that wherever you put it, he's going to go up. He's a big body. He'll shield the guy off, and he can make those catches. He has to be comfortable and relaxed within the system. The one thing I've been saying for the last 3 years with Jameis Winston is you don't have to be the entire offense.
No.
All you have to do is play within the offense. They've went out and got a lot of weapons to surround you. Use those weapons. It's okay to check the ball down to the running backs. It doesn't always have to be a big play.
This is the first Thursday night football game of the year for NFL Network in the Thursday night football package. It's obviously the second game on a Thursday night so far. The season kicked off last week on Thursday with the Bears and Packers, which was chosen as a nod to the fact that we're celebrating the NFL's 100th season this year. That is something that we will be celebrating in a bunch of different ways throughout the season here on NFL Network.